Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brent, and today I'm going to show you how to change jets in a Holley carburetor. I went and had the Mustang tuned a long time ago. Or actually, not a long time ago. Anyway, it's been a while back, and they checked the air fuel and said it was running a little lean. I needed to change the jets, so I'm finally going to do it. First thing, obviously, take the air cleaner off. Air cleaner off. Set that over there out of the way. Next thing we have to do, disconnect your throttle bracket. If you happen to have a nitrous switch, you got to disconnect that. We have to disconnect the fuel line. We're going to pop this off. That's off. And then we have mine are 1/2-inch bolts or nuts. So take those loose, and then we'll pull the carburetor off. Oh, we got to take the fuel line loose as well. If you've ran your car anytime lately, mine hasn't. This hasn't. I haven't driven it in a while. You'll have fuel in this line, so be careful. There we go. Then we just loosen these bolts or nuts, whatever you have. Normally it has studs with nuts on it. Okay. Now we are ready. If you have the aftermarket cable, you have to lift it off like that. Now we're ready to pull the carburetor off. I'm gonna get something to set it on first. Oh. And most of the time you'll have a vacuum line on the back as well. I forgot about that. Right back here. Let's pop that off. Actually, no, I don't have. Oh, right there it is. Goes to your PCV valve. I'm gonna spring her on over here.
I bet this thing will fall all the way. It's not gonna balance. Oh. Oh no, it does. There you go. Yeah, you know. Right down. All right, cool.
These 4 bolts remove the bowl. But what we want to do first, there might be gas in here still. So we're just going to take one out and let it drain. Not a whole lot in there.
What's the matter? Oh.
Not too bad. A little bit of 93. So now we have to remove these. Remove your fuel line. If you have a dual line. Oh, watch out, Susie. So now if you have a dual line carburetor like this, it's called a double pumper on this one. But there are, it's called a double pumper because it has 2 accelerator pumps. Some vacuum secondaries can still have a dual line, but anyway, this is an aftermarket dual line as well. So we're just going to disconnect this. go. Now we can finish taking these bolts out. I was losing, then you just give it a little tap, break it loose. Alright, so that's loose. Your jets are right here in your metering block. But you don't have to take that off if it's stuck. I don't want to rip the gasket because I don't think I have another one. But let's take these out and see what size jets are in there because I don't remember. Just a flathead screwdriver. Break them loose. And they have numbers stamped on them. This is oh goodness, old man time. Had to get reading glasses this year, guys. So we have an 80. Yes, an 80 in the front. They should be the same. Yeah, 80. So I'm going to go up 2 jet sizes. This is a Holley jet box here. You don't have to have one of these. You can buy jets separately. I bought this. Well, I got this a long time ago, and they have the numbers listed. 80, yeah, 82. I always double check them too. That's the 76.
Yeah.
82. 82. Actually, I'm only going to go up 1 in the front, now that I think about it. I'm going to put these 80s away before I forget. '81, 81. So you put these back in. You don't have to, don't super tighten them. Just snug. There we go. That's it on the front. All right, when you go back together, you want to make sure to pull your accelerator pump arm up. Make sure it all slides back in. And we just run these back in. These aren't going to be super tight either, just snug. And you would crisscross pattern because you don't want to warp your bowl. You'll never get it to seal. Of course, look at the gasket while it was off. These are reusable gaskets for the most part, unless you've never taken it off before. They can stick and tear, but I've had this one off several times. So that's the front. All right, now we're gonna go to the back. So I'm just gonna flip this around. Drain the gas again, which there's not a whole lot in here because I haven't driven it in a week or so, maybe a little more. Usually it'll almost fill this cap up if you've driven it recently. I have my car dynoed at Power Curve, by the way. They're in Mooresville, North Carolina. If you guys are close, go see Rob over there. He can do your tuning for you and get the numbers. And he has a Chevrolet guy that can come in and tune or remote tune. He can do all your Ford tuning for you. All right, I'm popping this loose. So this one, the metering block came with it. Getting gas everywhere. So I gotta pull get this metering block off. Just want to tap it. I got a gasket trying to stick here, so try to run this in there. Just put my screwdriver down behind it and run it around. Oh, this one gasket tore. Probably gonna have to go to the parts store, get a gasket. And on the back, we have what's called jet extensions. You use these in drag racing. See these right here? They're on top of the jets. What these are for is when you accelerate hard, all the fuel will run to the back of the bowl and it'll starve the jets. So we put this on here so it's sucking fuel from the back of the bowl, so you don't so you're not starving the engine for fuel. That's a drag racer trick, which I was thinking about doing in rallycross or autocross. I want to do some in the Capri. I'm probably going to do jet extensions on all 4 corners, which that's what it's called, and on a carburetor, all 4 jets. I'll put jet extensions in the front too for hard braking. Alright, so what do we have in the back? 84s in the back. I'm going to go to 86s in the back. 84. Now we'll go to 86. That's an 80. I don't have 86s. So I got 87s and 85s. Then we'll go 85 just so since I don't have an 86. So I don't want to go up too much and make it run too rich. Alright, so we'll put these back on. Just a little tap. There we go. I can't put this back together right now. We have to run and get a bowl gasket, I think. That doesn't look too bad there. It's torn right there. I think I'm gonna go with it for now. So metering block back on. Remember your accelerator pump arm. I remember that because I've done it so many times and not put the accelerator pump arm on. If my buddy Mike is watching this, he knows. So he taught me all about carburetors. He's the carburetor master. I can change jets, but when it comes to other tuning, he takes care of that for me. I'm putting that gasket back on. It's ripped at the top, and the fuel never gets up there unless you have a stuck float or something, or a needle and seat. So, oh, I don't like that. Feel like that bolt stripped. I'll have to keep an eye on that. So now we have to put our fuel line back on. It's just these AN fittings make it easy. Close your jet box back because you don't want to knock that thing over. Because that is a mess. Don't ask me how I know. Just tighten this back up. You're supposed to use, I know I'm supposed to use an aluminum adjustable wrench or the AN wrenches for this, but it's one tool I've never bought. I need to, but I don't have any AN fittings on my car. So anyway, now we're ready to put it back on. So just clean this up a little bit. It's just a little dirty. Let's go put it back on the car. One that you want to check, make sure you have a good base gasket too. That one seems to be good. Get back on the studs there. Then we're going to reverse the order, put it back together. And again, you want to go crisscross pattern, not crazy tight, because you can crack and you don't want to tighten one down. Just get them all snug down first.
Okay.
Sorry, so you want to crisscross pattern these. Not super tight because you can crack your base plate. And then you'll have a vacuum leak and you won't know where it's coming from. Just a little snug and try to get them all about the same. Alright, so next, put our fuel line back on. That's on. Very important. Don't forget to put your vacuum hose back on the back. I've forgotten that many times, and it'll crank it up and it won't idle. Does some, and you're like, oh, what in the world's going on? So now we got to put our return spring back on.
I'll go green pole.
Then next we put our throttle bracket back on. And that's it. We'll crank it up and make sure we don't have, make sure everything's good, and we'll be good to go. Go do some testing and see if our jet change helped or hurt, since we don't have a air fuel gauge. We do the seat of the pants dyno tuning, or the butt tuning. Alright, that's all out of the way. Turn our fuel pump on. If you have an electric fuel pump, check for leaks, and then we'll fire it up. Alright, so fuel pump's on. Just check all your joints. Make sure you don't have any leaks. Then we can try to fire this thing up.